Alrighty guys, what is up? Pruning plants for tomorrow. So we have some problems going on. A couple stems are turning black on these dogwoods. The tips are kind of dried out. So I want to get these back considerable amount and thin them. Just so there's a few good stems growing on these. Especially that one there. This one here is doing a little better, but they grow so fast during the year. All that's new growth from last year, and they typically they dry up a little bit on the tips. If I do a bark scratch test right here, that one's green. But some of these are, and you know, maybe they're sucking in a little more water now. They don't look quite as dried out as they did. So maybe they're doing a little better. We'll have to look at those and I'll debate what I want to do. I think I might just trim around the sides and make them look nice, but keep the length up. These actually look a little more moist than they did. I was seeing some dryness on some of these. I don't know where. It's kind of green there. Yeah, it's a little better. Either way, I might nip some of those, but we'll leave some buds so we can get some flowers on them. But I think the main thing is I want to get all these side branches cut. So it's just a tall plant. But you can see there what that looks like. And I'm going to do the same with this one here. So over here, these lilacs, or these potentillas. So let's plan for them. These potentillas now, look at this. A bunch of green growth. These feel dead and look dead, but we've actually got quite a bit of green growth coming out of this tree. So that's exciting. That's all over the plant, actually. So these are still chugging along. This one down here is the one I want to watch. It's going to start getting real warm, so I want to keep an eye on this and see if I see any growth. I hope it can pull back from being, because it was real bad. Right now, too, the clock says 6, and it's still really bright. But over here, I'm not noticing as many greens. There is a couple poking out, though, as you can see there. And there's a couple on these stems that feel and look so dead. So these actually might do okay. So let's just go with that. Over here, we've got the Mughal pines, which we're not going to touch at all during the pruning. These have already been pruned. I'm not going to touch those either. Over here, along with the Mughal pines, this will not be touched either during the pruning. Dogs are getting excited. You're going to hear them real loud as I walk over there. But these will not be touched either quite yet. I want to wait a couple more years to do these, along with the big trees, which I'll get to. But over here, see, they're getting excited. These here, you can see, hey! See here, this one here looks quite well. But either way, I'm going to cut this one back as well. Hey! Hey! Shh! Quiet! Shh! Fred! They get too excited. Either way, this one here, these get snow shoved onto them, especially them two. And you'll be able to tell that in a minute. The base down there is where it's cut to all the time. I'm going to thin that. And I'm going to take these down pretty low to the ground. Down here, this one's a lot considerably darker. It's because it's been buried with so much snow, it's kind of molded around. Still healthy stems, but we are going to prune all those stems to the ground level, a little bit below the basey woody stem. And we're going to take the basey woody stem back quite a bit. This one here didn't do quite as well. I think because all of our irrigation or aerating of the soil here and moving around for the sprinkler system. I'm going to cut it back to the ground and we can see what it pushes back up without having to fight with all them dead twigs in there. These need a little work and they're going to get it this year. They look really nice in the summer. This one looked amazing. So we're going to keep that cut and we're going to keep that going. Like I said, all these are going to be left, especially that one. We never touch that one anymore after how vigorously it died. And these daylilies, they're going to be left, of course, because they're already pruned. But you can see how nice those are already coming in. We're early April here. Well, almost mid-April. We're April 9th. You can see all of them have green, except this one. This one's always the last. It's actually got one little stick twig there. But that one's always the last because it's just in the worst position. It's always buried with snow. These are coming in really nice. Look at all that. Especially a little dead spot right here, but it fills in pretty well. I accidentally pulled out a twig there and it quit on me, but I'll just insert it and see what happens. But I pulled that out accidentally. I guess I should probably just take it out and let it do its thing. But either way, the rest of the plant there is doing really well. Look at that. It's gonna be a real nice one. Over here, this one's doing real well. I was a little gentler on it with the hose this year, so that one's gonna look real nice. This here is also putting some shoots out down there, which is good. Any kind of growth that can push out, I'm gonna let it do. Again, we have, very unfortunately, which I'll go cover today, we've got no spruce tree here anymore. And I'm gonna cover both those spruce trees, and unfortunacies of one of them for sure after I'm done in the yard here. These over here, for pruning, they got a really, really dense wooded base. I've got to thin that wooded base down. You can see it's poking out of all those stems. Right here is that thick wooded base, and they're all dead. I've got to get in there and do that and thin that without killing the plant. So I'm just going to take everything down quite a ways this year. Just limit down that base, and then I'll keep kind of going with it through the years. But you can see this one too. It's got a big, thick wooded base. Quite tall. It's up to there in the ground. That's going to limit the growth that these plants can push through. But you can see they push some big, vigorous stems, and they're very healthy stems. Look at the green under the stem. But I'm going to have to cut all the stems. Try and leave as many good ones as I can, but I'm going to have to cut all the stems and try and get them pretty low to the ground this year. This one here is kind of struggling a little more than the rest, but these are all old plants. This one over here gets digged up by the dogs. We'll have to do some work there. Might give me a better access point because I can see in there what I got to do. But yeah, it's gonna need some work as well. It's got a little bit lower base, and it actually grew a little better this year, so we're gonna keep that in mind. These here, they're recovering, so they aren't gonna get touched at all. They don't like pruning, I've learned. Over here, it's just a quick recap I'm doing. These big trees, they won't get touched again. We did those in December 2023. Went from November into December with these, and they're, after 1 year growing season, they've came back quite nice and grew quite a bit. So those are going to be left for a little while. These over here is an experiment. They keep shooting up all over. I want to let a couple grow. We planted them before, but I want to see if I can get some established stems in here so that we can stop the suckers a little bit. If something can poke up, it'll help the plant in the long run. Let's go over and take a look at the spruce trees that were once part of the yard here. I want to cover those, because they were once part of this yard. They used to be right in that planter. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, though. There used to be a planter right there where those spruce trees resided. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but one of them we got over here still chugging along. Let's take a look at it. See it right there. Alrighty, so here's the spruce tree. You can see it's actually still got some pretty vivid color with a little browning around some of the stems, but other than that, and the camera makes it even look a little more vivid, but other than that, it's still chugging along. It's got some kind of clay type soil, but it is soiled in. So we're just gonna get that watered. It dries out, it holds water, but it dries too. So we're gonna get that watered. The tree kind of wiggles around a little, but it's still firmly enough in place. I don't know how it's gonna go. It probably won't survive long term because of the soil kind of over here, but either way, we've got another year out of it. Typical growth, it produces a long stem. Last year it only produced that little bit, but hey, at least it produced. I don't see any, those little buds, I don't know if they're viable though. They kind of do look like they are. But either way, this one here is still chugging along. So we'll hope the best for it. Maybe hope it can actually do something and take off a little bit. But the soil's really hard around this. And that's the bummer of kind of what we had to do. I'm really going to miss this tree when it dies, if it dies. Let's hope it doesn't. And then I have an unfortunate. We had a smaller tree over there with it. Just even brighter, I think, than it and everything, but it's not doing as well. I think there's still a little green underneath, but it's dead. I don't know if these are new buds being pushed. They kind of look new in a way. If I can get this to 0.5 and show you. They do kind of look viable, but they do look dried as well. Yeah, they're dried. They're not very healthy. So this one's dead. Got a little green, got a little life in there, but it's toast. So that one's bye-bye. This one here, it was never a part of the yard. We did move it in 2023. It's looking rough, but it is still chugging along, and it produced some growth last year finally. So that one might just be in a real struggle, but it might push through because, like I said, it's made it through 2 really hot summers already. So anyway, these will be covered later. These are part of the trees over here, not really part of these, but that's the pruning plans for the yard for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. None of these are going to get touched, obviously. I'm trying to get that one to recover, but over here we're going to have some stuff get pruned and trying to thin things out. So that's going to be the focus. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.